disappoint you. I am so sorry for that, everybody. But I am here. My name is George Mokwena. I am your host. This, of course, is the Overthinking Football Show. This is the watch along. It's a watch along. We're watching the champions from last year coming out to take on Supersport United in the Tshwane derby. And here comes Sundowns. Mamelodi Sundowns versus Supersport United, aka Mamelodi Sundowns versus their development side. I'm sorry. I just had to. The development side. Mamelodi Sundowns, of course, looking to repeat the heroics of last season. A lot of pressure is on Coach Mangoba's head. Supersport United this season has quite the opportunity. They're going to be able in this season to maybe see themselves get back into those CAF spots, seeing as Pirates, Sundowns, Supersport, Kukune are all going to be campaigning in Africa. Maybe not Sundowns, which is very experienced, but the other three have a little bit of growing to do in the CAF competitions. So that presents Supersport with a very good chance to make it back into those spaces. Supersport has represented South Africa at the CAF Confed level a number of times over the past few years, but they've been struggling of late with player sales and all of that stuff to get back properly. In terms of the starting lineups, Mamelodi Sundowns has Williams in goal, Lebusa, Kutsia Kekana, Morena Tshwane, Mabue Allende, Ribeiro, Reyners, and Shaluli. There's still no Mokwena, but Grant Kekana makes it back into the team after news that he has signed a new contract. So he's extended whatever he's had there. Then on the bench you have Onyango Khoza, Obas Mudiba Mkhulise, Zwani Mabena Matthews, and
that's the Nyoso I know. I don't want another Nyoso. I didn't bring the other Nyoso. I brought the Nyoso that I know. Because that's not the Nyoso that I want. The Nyoso I want is got pressure, stress, he's dodging, he's dribbling, he's shooting, he's assisting, he's breaking the line. This is the Nyoso I know. Now when I don't get that Nyoso, then one Salukhanyo will get it.
Coach, but is how is Nyoso going to fit into Mangoba's team? What is the Nyoso that Mangoba wants? But we might get to see that with him on the bench. In terms of Supersport United, we've got Kos, we've got Mobi, we've got Rapo, we've got Sanuka, we've got Tachwayo, Mangezi, Ndlovu, Okon, Aya, Pule, and Shugamanja as the starting lineup for Supersport. Of course, the Supersport team that's missing out on Bradley Grobler, who is out injured, but also missing out on Gavin Hunt, who's still serving his suspension for being sent off in a previous game, which means that they will not have him on the bench there. Andre Aronsa has taken over their bench as Mbanjwa, Baloi, Baliti, Moralo, Mbangosum, Lakei Pochenpool, Mahlangu, and Makitikiti as that bench. Let's see what they can do. Q-Boy says, another disappointment as we are Downs. Oh, Mara Q-Boy. I think the big disappointing thing from this game, if we're being honest, is the stadium. Guys. Man, I know it's a random Tuesday, right? I know. Mara, we've watched Orlando get filled. We've seen Toyota Stadium getting filled. We've seen all of that. Mara, Loftus, Atteridgeville. It wasn't full. Can Sundowns fans start showing up for their team, man? Go stadium, man. If there's one team that deserves it, it has to be Mamelodi Sundowns. In the last 5 games that these two have played against each other, Supersport has 1 win, there's been 1 draw, and there's been 3 wins by Mamelodi Sundowns. The last game out was on the 12th of March, where Mamelodi Sundowns and Supersport United drew 1-1. In the last 5 games for each team, Supersport United has 3 wins, 1 loss, and a draw. That is how it looks for Supersport. Last game out was the loss, a 3-1 loss to Orlando Pirates. Sundowns comes from a 4-0 win versus Mbabane Swallows. A practice match for all intents and purposes. And before that, it was 2 losses to Stellenbosch. So they did right the ship a little bit. So we'll see how that goes. How Mara, I can count. It looks like by 50. Leave them alone, guys. Man. How? Leave them alone. 4 minutes in, it is 0-0. Supersport coming into the game with a 4-4-2. It looks like a 4-4-2 whereas Mamelodi Sundowns has gone back to 3-4-3. We're seeing Shalulile coming back in place of Salesman. Salesman, unini amista, unini. Sundowns released a video telling everybody that they've created so many chances over the last few games and we haven't taken them, but we're going to what. Not Salesman, man. Guys, sales is 21, 22, sales. It's 22. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Tabelo says Mamelodi Sundowns lacks rhythm. Well, the nice thing about Mamelodi Sundowns is that they have quality. So they might lack a bit of rhythm, but if you remember last season, a lot of the time it's their quality that got them through games. It's not necessarily that they outplayed teams and did all these incredible, amazing things. It's more that, when push comes to shove, last 5 minutes, last 10 minutes, Rulani would throw the kitchen sink and the kitchen sink would score. Something would happen. Hits a shoulder and goes in. Something was going to happen in those games. So I think, barring what has happened, Mangoba has created so many chances. This team has created a lot of chances. They haven't taken them. Difference with Rulani was that he created little chances, but took the one that mattered. So let's see how these guys are going to play in this game that we have here in the Betway Premiership. Betway. No, I'm kidding. Let's see. Or any of the other ones. Okay, let's see. Quality without direction leads to failure. That's true. That's very true. It's very true. But I will counter your point by saying, should Mangoba be allowed to build his own team? We see throughout the world, a lot of the great coaches will come in and say, you know what, let me take away some of these players that have maybe been there, don't know my system, might not be on my side fully, might not be doing all of those things for me. Let me take them away and bring in my own guys. Can Umangoba be allowed to take out Emudau, Mokwena? Can he be allowed to sell those players or move them on, similar to what Rulani did with Jali, similar to what Rulani did with Abo Onyango, who wasn't exiled, but he was on the bench, similar to maybe what Abo Pitso did when they came in? Can Coach Mangoba be allowed to bring in his own players? Should he be allowed to bring his own players? Because he doesn't have that time. That is the question that I want to ask. That maybe I want to play the football I want to play, and I have a rhythm that I want, but these gents might not be on board, or they can't play my football. Who knows? Who knows? Let's see. It's not about how many chances you create, but how many goals you score. I hear you, Tapelo. I hear you. But what was the biggest complaint about Rulani Sundowns? It was that, guys, you guys have 1,000 passes. The chameleon is chameleon. Yeah, you are rotating it, man. Bamba. Hey, Kutsia is giving it to Obrimudiba. Obrimudiba is giving it to Tshwane. Yeah, he'll rotate, he'll chiga, he'll round. 1-0. And to be fair, I think fatigue played a lot into Mamelodi Sundowns the last few games in Mamelodi Sundowns. But I think they would want to move towards more chances being created. And if those chances being created are players hitting the post, guys, how much can we blame Mangoba, or how much can we say that this team is so bad if they're hitting the post 3, 4, 5 times in a game? Right? How much can we say that maybe his system is broken? It may not look as pretty, but the chances are there, and the chances that are being missed are nothing bad. Here's something that Mangoba's system didn't have earlier on in the season, where they had the confidence in Williams, they had Kutsia on the pitch, where they could actually play the ball out. You know, Kutsia likes to... oh, there we go. There we go. Shasha. Selfish. Chapas rete man. Again, morena. Selfish. Mara Shasha, as I was speaking about him. They've started playing it out from the back. Google Tunga a little bit. It's not as effective as what the chameleon was, but if you look at that play that was leading to the goal, it was some triangles in the box that then freed them up to go forward. So that's very chameleon-y, even though the chameleon might have been a little bit slower. So maybe that's the answer to Sundowns' problems, that, you know, We need to create 5, 6, 7 chances so that we can score the 1 goal and win. You get what I mean? Just to be fair, man. Just to be fair. Ukona yini Mudau starting 11? No Mudau in the starting 11. Libusa, Kutsia, Kekana, and Morena are essentially that back 4 with Kutsia dropping in. So many games tonight. UEFA Champions League. Yes, we're back, guys. We're back. Mangoba has been there since Pitso's time. Okay. Again. Guys, why are you guys making me defend Mangoba? But it's fine. He has been. But Pitso's football was very different to Rulani's football. So should Mangoba not have the chance to bring his football into Mamelodi Sundowns? And maybe it might be a progression of these two, but it would be his imprint on the game. Corner to Mamelodi Sundowns. Let's see if they can get something here. Hey guys, wait, let me see. Where was I? We spent 63 million on sales. This is egregious behavior. Oh, nice. You should have taken it first time. You should have taken it first time. Oh, what a play to Mabue. He just didn't have enough confidence to, move that thing first time. Remember when I asked you guys, how do you hold your technical director accountable? I remember when people were saying, Sundowns spent 150 million and Rulani messed it up. How do you spend 150 million and not win what? Okay, now you've got it, bought sales, 63 million. You've got these guys. There's rumors that those were not Rulani's signings. He didn't want them. How do you hold the technical director accountable? Because the scouts are gone. The scouts are gone. The analysts are 20-year-olds. He's going to transfer room and getting a South American connects and signing players to transfer room. How do you hold him accountable? That is the question. But you can't build downs. It's already a built house. Well, Rulani didn't say that when he came in. When he went from the diamond to the chameleon, he found another way. Maybe it's not about rebuilding the house. Maybe it's about, refurbishing the rooms. Extending in. I don't know. Turning one of the rooms into a cinema. Maybe that's what it is. But I think a lot of us want the coaches to have the same thing. And I don't want to defend Mangoba. I think I would have played it calm this season. Even Rulani played it calm when he got the head coaching job. Here comes Supersport. Play the ball. Oh. Guys, Williams is nominated for Ballon d'Or. One of the awards is the Ballon d'Or. You're not going to beat him by taking those type of shots. The ball should have been played first time when they first got the chance and take the shot. I think Mangoba wants to prove a point. True, and that could be his downfall. The ego could be his downfall. The point I was making was, Coach Rulani, when he became head coach, had 6 months, 7 months, correct me if I'm wrong, where he basically played the same football that they were playing up to that point and only changed the chameleon once the season ended. He got his preseason and signings and all of that stuff. Maybe Mangoba should be going, you know what? Maybe we should play the chameleon a little bit more and then we'll see what's going to happen later on in the season. I didn't have enough time with these players. I didn't have enough time to sit down and take them through what I want to do. Let's make them play what they played. Izati, when we go into the halftime break or when we go into the end of the season, I will implement what I want to implement. I agree there. I agree there. Is this what fans call sold out? Guys. But I did say, Shem, they should be following. They should be. Man, where's the pride, Sundowns fans, man? It's the pride to go and fill up a stadium for your team that is spending 63 million on one player, that is almost invincible and all of those nice things. This is a far more open game than I thought it would be. Supersport have a lot of openings that Sundowns are sort of exploiting. Oh, Nico Mobi. Okay, Rulani was obsessed with 1,000 passes ball. Tokotela says, this derby is boring. It's the derby, guys. You check the performance. Eminem teaches them to hit the post and show. And Coach for Khoza, man, was also brought in. Can't Chiefs play or something? Dog is, can't Chiefs play or something, man? 3 points is important, says Sipo. Ribeiro clearly doesn't trust Shalulile anymore. 2 cutback opportunities not taken. Yeah, that's another thing, man. Is it time to move Shalulile on? Is it time? Is it time for Shalulile and Abozwane, you know, to be given their flowers and moved out of teams properly? I see Uzwane is on the bench more for Coach Mangoba. What happens there? Man. Shalulile has not been the same since the Matchbox incident. He did say once more box entries, so this guy's had a moment. Velile, what's with you and people that have passed away? Ngathi nyalo. Tebza is not available. Tebza's not available. He's not in the. As far as I know, he's fit. As far as I know, Mangoba is a very attractive style of play. It's just they don't score much. Says Upungashe. Oh, Abafana Best 10. He's bringing Abafana Best 10 to Sundowns. Hey, the football might be different, but the team's identity and concept remains. Okay. Was Pitso shoeshine and piano? If I may ask, was Pitso a shoeshine and piano coach? Or weren't the fans complaining about ugly football when Pitso was coaching? There was some complaints about ugly football at some points throughout his career. When he left, people are talking about, Vele, we were playing like this and like that and like that. He's not so good tactically and all of that stuff. I don't know. Proving a point might be his downfall. Yes. Oh, of course. That's the one thing he has to look out for. But I disagree. Rolando also wanted to prove his point. He played what people say is beautiful by 1,000 passes. But that's why I'm saying, should Coach Mangoba not be given the chance to play his version of what he wants? You know? Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he hated the chameleon. Shouldn't he be allowed to enforce his thing as the coach that has been at Sundowns for as long as he's been at Sundowns? So every coach just proves a point with their ideas. Basically, it's very few coaches. That inherit the team and go forward with that team. Very, very few coaches. You look at world football right now, right? Look at what's happening at Kaizer Chiefs. And I know it's one game. Now he changed the whole backline. Well, 3 of the 4 backlines. He brought in another player, Sirino. He's playing Abozwane. You can tell that it's his team. They allowed him to get rid of Abosanti, not extend Abotoli and all those guys, right? In order for him to go forward. Rulani, they allowed him to exile Abochali, for example. Chali was one of the key players for Mamelodi Sundowns, right? So, I don't know. I think it's a little bit unfair to think that Mangoba shouldn't be allowed to change things. Should he be allowed to change things very quickly, or should he be allowed to change things with the amount of time he's had? I don't think he should have, or he shouldn't go too crazy with it. I don't know how Supersport is going to score in this game. They lack a focal point. It seems like Upule, Nozugaman, they're not clicking all the way. But the one thing I will say about Coach Mangoba's system is that it is a very open system, and you are going to get chances. Guys, please, tap the screen, man. Tap the screen. Please, tap the screen. Let's try get to 30,000 likes before the end of this game. It really does help with rankings and all of that. And remember, this is a very interactive show. Yes, I read your comments, but if we can get to, let's say, 20,000 before halftime. Okay, at halftime, I did in 6 people. We have a conversation about whatever. If we can get to the 20,000 and let's say 30,000 by second half, then I will leave it open and everybody will be able to jump in for a minute or 2 and tell me how you are feeling about the game so far. Sundowns are now NFT quality. Yo, guys, do you notice there's no jersey number retirement? Yeah, I see, Jay. Supporters will always change their opinions based on the circumstances of the time. True. And Tapelo, that's a very good point you're making. But I think management, then it becomes very important for management to stick by you. The one thing that Mamelodi Sundowns has done very well is that they've given their coaches the backing and the time. When Pitso was under pressure, Patri Motsepe came out and said, you know what, guys? No matter what you guys say, I'm keeping this guy. I did my research, I found him, he's my guy. The one thing that Sundowns mustn't find themselves slipping into is the problem that a lot of the PSL teams have, where you start hearing a bit of outside noise and you get rid of the guy. You start hearing a bit of, sometimes you have to build. Mangoba came into this job maybe right before preseason. If we maybe had more time and it wasn't an abrupt change, we could be seeing something different. But if you allow supporters to dictate everything, yes, we love the team. Yes, we see the results and all of that stuff. But at some point, there has to be somebody who steps in and says, yo, hang on. We're not taking him anywhere. Simketi lelo muntu, we're going to back him. And backing means publicly, backing means with signings. That's what you need to do for your coaches. Okay, 20 minutes in, it is 0-0. Very slow game. I'd say Mamelodi Sundowns has had the bulk of the chances. They've had a lot more of the out and out, I'd say, chances where maybe it's a cutback that was missing. Maybe it's somebody failing to pull the trigger in the case of Mabue. But it hasn't been flowing. Like, it hasn't been like a crazy game up to this point. Supersport does look not dangerous in patches, but they're not completely silent in the game. I think they've realized now that Williams wants to suck you in so that they can do that little diamond thing where that gave them the chance at the end. That gave them a chance early on in the game. So now they're just sitting and saying, guys, have the ball. Have the ball. Williams, you can even walk up to the halfway line if you want to. We're not going to press you, because when we press you, you catch us out. So interesting tactical change there from Supersport. Let's see how long they can keep it up. The nice thing about the league, and I think this is the frustrating thing. The nice thing about the league is that, the nice thing and the irritating thing about the league is Supersport could be happy with 0-0. Supersport could look at Mamelodi Sundowns and say, hey, guys, we don't need to go and concede 3. We don't need to go and lose 3 points. We are playing away at Loftus. Oh, there we go. What a pass. What a pass, Ronwen. What a pass, Ronwen. Straight back. Oh, gosh. Is this what we're going to watch the whole time? What is Mangoba's style of football? If I remember correctly from Golden Arrows, it was a very fast game predicated on having his more creative players come in from the wings, if I'm not mistaken. Bon, Jabulo Mangana. Is it Mangana? And those guys. He loved not so much tiki-taka, but it's like a fast, get the ball up as fast as possible, and then have your more technical players in one-on-ones as quickly as possible. If I'm not mistaken, I can be corrected, please. I think I should ask Uvelile here to jump in. He must play what he wants as long as he wins. Like Pitso and like Mazinho, Gavin also took us. Danko, MKMO. But then are South Africans ready for ugly football? Oh, that passage with Ribeiro. I wonder that little space that he's always finding in front of that defense. That is going to be the issue for today, I think. That is going to be the issue for today. I see the Kotsi. I see the Kotsi that side. To be honest, this is technically Mangoba's second stint. Mara, you guys didn't want to give him the credit for the co-coaching. You didn't want to give him credit. Yeah, when he was the sole. I remember asking the question. We had a show last year? And I asked the question, Uti, do you guys feel Mangoba that way? And when he was head coach, was he really head coach? Because for me, they said he was the final say, but people were like, nah, him and Rulani, what. Manje, now it's technical. I see you guys. Someone says, I see a draw. Yeah. I'm just surprised that there haven't been more clear-cut chances. Supersport has been making all that noise about their new signings. Well, some are new. signings. Bo Gossi, Bo Mobi came in, Bo Vincent Pule. Mara, we haven't seen much. And I think Jugamanja works best when he's with Grobler. I think it becomes a front two, but then Grobler does the dirtier work. He wins the first ball. He's dangerous for crosses, and then Jugamanja can, run around behind him, just waiting for the balls to drop. So for now, when you're playing with pretty much two of the same profile up front, oh, there we go. Allende, what was that, buddy? Play the simple path. Hey, why are they making things so complicated for themselves? If it's not them not cutting it back inside the box for an on-rushing player, it's them trying to play these fancy Hollywood passes. There's 3 players in front of you. Just give it to them right there. But that is going to be key for this game, I think. Supersport, the front side, the front part of their press, the front 3 or front 4, is doing very well being patient. But if you can bypass them, there's a lot of space in that midfield. And Williams has found a couple of long passes. But also, the moment that they start getting through that press, or not even a press, but getting through that, those people who are standing there, and then putting it together, Supersport does fall apart. The front players have to come to the party for them, or at least keep them protected, if that makes sense. Transitional football, yeah. And was Lumsa, Hebana. Mafia says 1-0 to Supersport. Reina, Shalilile, and Ribeiro setup is not clicking. Here's my thing. Yes, we're saying that Umangoba wants to play quicker, but Sundowns hasn't necessarily played quicker. So where's the space going to come from for Reina's? So what is Reina's role in this game? That's one. And then I know Ribeiro, you see, there's that space, man, right in front of the defense. Whew. It's almost like they've got 4 players up front, 4 players at the back, four players up front, 5 players at the back, 1 player in the middle, and that player's overwhelmed. Sundowns just haven't realized it. There's a big disconnect. The gap between the forwards and the defense. That's Supersport. I don't know what the plan was here. So yeah, I was saying, what is Reina's meant to do in this setup? Oh, nice shot, Ribeiro. That's the guy I understand. Dropping back into the 10. He goes back into the 10. He wants to play behind the striker. But why buy Ribeiro if you're going to put him on the wing? Rather play Masego there. Rather let Matthews run on that side. Or Nyoso. I think that's going to be the first change. But he did say, Umangoba Guti, Reina is not necessarily a player that he wants for the league. Went back on that word very quickly. Corner by, there goes the shot. Oh, Goss. Straight into Goss's hands. Wow, he tried to release that very quickly. That they even said, is the coach away and Rulani was the coach at home? But when somebody needed to get demoted, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. He's back. You can see what Mangoba's trying to do. Give this project time. It'll look better when it does. I kind of get it in defense. I kind of get it. Mara, the attack. Here it comes, cross it in. That is what happens when you play a striker at left wing. Shalulile was waiting for the ball. He was waiting for the ball to come to him.
Bafana, man. What?
What type of instincts are you going to want from a striker? That's why I'm like, it doesn't make sense to have Reyners on the pitch and have him running wide. I could understand him having Reyners on the pitch and making them more compact, the 3 that is closer to each other. Maybe you play off of it. Or you have Ribeiro drop back and it's a 2. But if Reyners is going to play on the side, aye man. All the fronts of Sundowns are natural strikers. This coach doesn't rate Matthews. This game needs them shish. Mara Ribeiro's doing the shift. Ribeiro's doing the job there. It's promising. They must leave the ball distribution to Kune. Tapelo says, I think Mangoba's trying to play with 3-10s where they're attacking. Too much. At least then play 3-10s. Don't play a 9 and a 10. Well, a 9 in a 10 roll and a 9 in the 7 and a 9 in the 11. No. Who's meant to give who the ball here? No, that Shalulile run was not it. I'm doggies. I'm doggies. And you know what's funny? I know you, doggies. Hey, guys, doggies is an EAFC streaming wizard. I know you. You would have called for that ball. If this was King Mkokotlo FC spinal cord, you would have taken that ball and put in a through pass. I know you. Don't do that. Supersport playing with a 4-3-1-2, very structured. It's a 4-3-1-2, but it becomes like a 5. It almost feels like a 5, not even a 2. It's like a 5-1, like a 5-1-2-3 type of thing. And I think that's what's giving Sundowns some joy. I kind of get it. Maybe you want to front load. We want to have more players in more advanced areas. Like you see how they're committing 4 players. So maybe the idea is that if you don't allow Sundowns to come out with the ball, so if you have enough obstacles for Sundowns, right? So you see, there's 3 committed up front and a 5 in general. But if Williams plays the ball directly through to Ribeiro, you've minused the 6 players essentially. So that's what's. But on the plus side, if you do that, like you see here, you can win the ball back a little bit higher. You can give them a little bit more pressure up there. It's a risk, I guess. It's risky. But if Williams can find that pass to Ribeiro more often, then I think Supersport will be in trouble. But I think they've stopped pressing, so they're no longer pressing. They're just watching and shifting. Again, in the PSL, a lot of teams are going to come and play for a draw. It's not going to be pound for pound. It's not going to be pound for pound. Let's see if they've addressed it. Okay, they're starting to address it. Still 5 with the 3 in front, 2 right behind them. Who's chasing? Guys, what is Allender's role in Mangoba's team? You see? So the ball goes out, you just push up on him when he shifts it. Then if it goes to Williams, you let it go. Guys, Tokotela, EAFC wizard, right there. Team Kokotlo FC, spinal cord. Salililet should have run to the far post. That's true. But Sundown struggling to break the Supersport defense. Kanabare, it's like, this is like a made lock. 9 in a 1, 9 in a 4, 9 in a 12, 9 in a 6. Well, it's just 9s all over the place. And I'm just like, I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know how that's going to work. Who's supposed to give one the ball? It's going to be a long season. No, my prediction for the season is that he'll realize why everybody loves one. He'll realize why everybody loves one, and he will start using him. I think you can be stubborn for a little bit of time, but then there'll come a point. You know, there was a reason why Rulani overloaded the midfield. He loved to overload that midfield, so that Zwane didn't have to do that much work. And it also gives Allende some friends. Look at Allende, bro. He's just running around all over the place. I don't know what his role is meant to be. I don't know. And if this is the fast Sundowns, they're the quick transitioning Sundowns. Okay. As I say, they transition quickly. Mabue needs to do more, man. Mabue needs to do more. Ribeiro sometimes is just selfish, man. What is their plan for leaving Zwane starting 11? Temazan is the best player. Tabela says Supersport knows that if it goes on like this, then Downs will start getting desperate. Exactly, Tapelo. Exactly. And like I said, there's teams in the league that are not above taking a point versus Sundowns. You play the ugliest game, you play the most defensive game, and you come out with a point. I don't know if the Sundowns can do what Rulani Sundowns used to do in the last 5 minutes, where they just hit you over and over and over and over and over again until something breaks. You know, I don't know if they can do that. But there's plenty of teams that will play 90 minutes like this. This is even better. There's teams that are on a low block for 90 minutes. These ones, at least, their block, quote unquote, is coming from the front. So they're just saying, guys, if all of you become, there's the long ball, if all of you become obstacles for the play of Sundowns, they're not going to be able to do those things. But also, don't get sucked in. A lot of teams get sucked in. Williams gets the ball, you try to chase Williams, now you're out of position, there's a player that comes in right behind you, there's a player that positions, when that guy gets, then they've broken your press, and they're out, they're going to go score. But these ones are saying, no, Williams, have the ball, bro. Have the ball, it's okay. I'm going to stand right here. If you go to the left, if you go to the left, we're all going to transition to the left, and then we're going to watch you. Then we're going to get back into the structure. How long you can keep this up, I don't know. But, you know, when you're not playing a cup competition where you have to go and attack, and you have to try and win, and you have to go try and get the goal. Oh, do you know how many teams are going to do this season? I'm seeing Supersport playing more complete midfield. Is this a championship winning team? Well, he was the one who said, I'm seeing Supersport playing with a more complete midfield. They were celebrating scoring many versus the Maraspiro. Alan has a free roll but doesn't find the perfect pockets. But that's why I wanted to ask, what is he meant to be doing, right? Here's my thing. I understand Rulani's thing, right? I need more midfielders, right? So then what we do is we take Mudiba, we invert him, we take Kutsia and play him as Kanaking Libero. He's in the defense. He goes into midfield. We have Allender there, which means that in the midfield, we'll have Zwane, Allender, Kutsia, and Mudiba. Then also you have Mudiba, you have Kutsia and Mokwena to be the guys that clean up, right, when things break down. That was not by chance. Morena waited too long with that pass. I guess this is what Sundowns has to hope for. Little breaks in the game, you know. Funny enough, this feels a lot more like CAF than anything else. You're going to get little breaks like that where you have to make the right decision. You know, Supersport is going to, they can't, not in the last 5 minutes. You can't lose it in the last 5 minutes or 7 minutes. You can't do it now at a critical phase where you're breaking down. I guess this is going to be a game of concentration. How long can Supersport stay concentrated? That's basically the name of today's game, I think. Yeah, Nomshishi's quality. Check out Deep Shalulile is. Mabue is lost. Oh, and Kanta says check out Deep. Shalulile is. Doggy says, yeah, no, Shishi is quality. Shamasa says put Zwane, then Sundowns wins. I sort of agree. And take out either Shalulile or Reyners. They're just passengers right now. He just didn't want to change the lineup he used versus Swallows. Ribeiro's trying hard. But OT, we can't depend on Zwane. Hence, Rulani was grooming Mapena. But Mangoba is against that. Goes back to my question. If Rulani gets fired 2 months before, do you think Mangoba would bring in a different player there? Here's one. If Rulani got fired a couple of months before and Mangoba took the job, is Sereno a Chiefs player? Because I think he can do maybe what Mangoba's asking for, but he just doesn't have that. And on the bench, I don't know who can play that role. So if you're going to play with 3 9s, at least have a 10 that can find them. if that makes sense. Oh, Supersport. That was lazy. Don't get sucked in. Don't get sucked in. Mangoba must just use Mudiba. It will save his job, says Uspo. Wahib says Allender is a true 8 straight box to box, and now he's playing like a 6.5. Exactly. And do you know where this started, Wahib? Do you know where this started? Remember the game? I forgot where they were playing, what they were playing. Was it Yanga? Not Yanga. Was it Yanga or ES Tunis? There was a game where Mamelodi Sundowns played and Mokwena wasn't available. Mokwena wasn't available. And I remember the goal coming through, like, okay, there was a goal that was scored, but it was Allender who was on the line trying to clear it. And in my head, I was asking myself, why is Allender there? Like, why was he dropping all the way back? And he struggled in that game because, again, he's more of an 8, like you're saying, than he is a 6. So it's so interesting. Leadership at the back for Sundowns. Mabua will get a red card and Kulisi is the best option. Oh, Fandenom, you're calling for the youngster, the 28-year-old youngster. They finished their goals and they played it to Alenda Kutia Mabua all lost, says Tapelo. They finished their goals against Bavane Swallows. Kiboy says, on this game we need Lodge serious. Low block is about to finish 2 Sundowns coaches. What's funny is that Chembe, this is not even, they're not even allowing Sundowns to go up the pitch. That's what's crazy about today's game. That's why I'm like, I wanted to call it a low block, but I'm like, hey man, this is not necessarily a low block, but they're not even allowing Sundowns really. Sundowns hasn't seen the final third. That side goes Supersport. But here, you see, this is the chance. Kante, who's attacking? Who's attacking here? One thing you need to understand, new coach and new few players, which means the whole system changes, says Umlando. Tanta says, what's Allender's role actually is confusing his team. Thanking Tanta. This is what I'm asking. Creator saying why says, I still don't understand why he's trying to change everything, but still plays Shalulile and Ribeiro. I don't get why Ribeiro, Reyners, and Shalulile are on the pitch at the same time. You know, so usually in that front three, it's a 10. That's the other person. So Tshwane usually plays left side. They usually don't have a left side, but on the starting lineup, it will come up as Tshwane being on the left-hand side of the attack. We all know that they don't attack up the left-hand side, for example. So, Reyners, is he meant to become a second striker and come inside? Even though he's standing all the way up there, I don't know what's going to happen. They're progressing the ball right now. There's one man in the box. One man in the box while everybody else is confusing each other, trying to play some. Guys, I don't know what this is.
I don't know what you guys are doing. I'm trying to figure out the formation. I'm lost.
Ribeiro's frustrated, says Umsiana. Lando says, let's remember, he was not the head coach. Rambo says, Moby lacks precision, man. Let's see. Mokwena and Mudao are supposed to leave Sundowns for new challenges, to be honest. How are you doing, Lebza? Msabe says, Ish, you're saying, come on, Supersport. Supersport is coming here for a draw. They're coming here for a draw. Pananom says, Mangoba has no plan at all. Tsulufelo says, this is Sundowns. Ref needs to take out some cards. He does. I guess he's allowing the game to flow, Mara. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys. I have 5-year-olds that are awake for some reason. 5-year-olds that are awake for some reason. Apologies, apologies, apologies. I didn't miss anything. Né? Guys, 1 minute added on. Please remember that you can jump into the show. You just have to request. So request, and I let you in. To request, you have to be following me, and then click on the button at the bottom of your screen that says multi-guest. We are heading to halftime. I'm going to let in some people, and then those people, we're going to have a conversation about what we've seen in this first half. So let's see how you guys have seen this game. Finally, we see some Rainers action. Guys, wouldn't Rainers be more suited to run centrally? More suited to run centrally than for him to be running out on the wing. Wait, there's... I'm just getting the people that are here. Okay, I think they're trying to use break attacks, but this is why I said that I think this is going to be a game that's going to be decided by how concentrated Supersport can be. That is what this is going to do. Okay, halftime. Let me see. Okay, that was a tough watch. That was a tough watch. Wahib, how are you doing, my brother?
I'm all good. I'm good out there. How you doing, brother?
No, I'm good, my brother. I'm good. Yeah, we played well. Yeah, I'm happy. Wahib, first off, what did you see?
A very, very aggressive Supersport that is waiting on the counter, trying to hurt Sundowns. And they are very well organized, a very good structured team.
Okay.
Andre Arendse, as the assistant, is going with the team that's hard to beat. And you can see the way they play. Very structured, very well organized. Sometimes confusing the Sundowns players, but they need to be very much concentrated, as you said, OT. They need to be concentrated and trying to hit on the break. They had about 2 chances there, and it's gonna work very hard to beat the Sundowns team because they're trying to figure out the Manova system.
I'm gonna come back, Wahib. Let me just get everybody in. Kumo, welcome to the show. How are you?
Someone called our game a Dawiki, so I'm not doing fine.
Marakuma, what's
So,
happening?
yeah.
What's happening here? How are you seeing this game? Can you make sense of what we are seeing here?
You see OT with the new Manova system.
Chokela, Mara.
Sorry,
What's
I
wrong?
couldn't. Okay, sharp. We're not talking about Spana, ne? Okay, sharp. Ne? Remember, like yesterday, we spoke about players getting rewarded for their performances.
Yeah.
You know, this is what happens. I mean, like we virtually had a similar system that we have during the weekend, with the exception of Shadulile. And because Sales wasn't doing much in terms of like Goldfred, so he was replaced by Shalulile. again, your Rena's piece is it's a handful, that boy. Ne? Unfortunately, he's not creating that many chances, or he's not pinpoint as much as I would like him to be. Where one Eddie had been and he was connecting through with our strikers. Guy, we could have scored so many goals there. Ne? Supersport Jimmy's guys, as much as there are some areas where we are lacking creativity or areas where we aren't really penetrating, but Rabashianis, and it'll be I want to see what's going to happen to them, because they're a bit light, because they're giving youngsters debuts, man. Their squad is all that. Their squad give makeshift. So it's going to be can they keep this momentum happen? Now, if we get an inform Zwane coming in, Mabena Lena again, I'm always trying to prove his point where he should be there with the young kids. It's gonna be a bloodbath. Come second round. I'm telling you.
Okay. Now I'm gonna come back. I've got some things I want to ask you. Let me go to ASAP Champion. ASAP Champion, welcome to the show, my brother.
Excellent, Mr. Otsi.
What's going on?
Mina ngabuza wena ubiza udiscipline abantwana lapha ebackgroundini.
Hey man, abafuna ukulala la bantu.
One corporal punishment. There's one corporal punishment.
Ayikho leyo. Tell me, what did you see from the game?
Yeah, man, it's a tough game to watch. We're still a bit stiff. But you can see what they're trying to do in patches, especially in those first couple of 10 minutes. There was some glimmer of okay, it's sinking in what Marawa was trying to do, but it seems like so by the wayside. Ribeiro is taking on so much responsibility, not much communication happening from that front three. I think the team doesn't trust Shalulu anymore, or let me rather say the players don't trust Shalulu anymore. You can also just see it at him. He also looks like his head is down. My boy Naye is drowning in the game, nowhere to be seen. But I'm thankful Gutsy Williams is back. We definitely missed him. We missed him. We can see what a couple of those long passes that he's been making. So if there's one aspect that I can really say, would see confidence in at least the defense here, because Williams is gonna spearhead that back line and be very over communicative. He's gonna shout at them. He's gonna talk to them. He's gonna scream at them. He's gonna wake them up, keep them alert. It's just there's that missing link phakathi kwesisu nale front three. Pieces that I'd like the boys to address.
And I'm gonna ask you that just now. Let me just get everybody in. Mtogis, welcome to the show. How are you, my brother?
Thank you, Baba. How are you?
Hi, manaki monati. 3 points are rona ikeni. Akitsi bi 3 points are mona ito yakai. Mtogis, warning stuff.
Since we won, man, we've been followed by cars that it is not the number plate, but that's that. I don't see this Sundowns team, man. Mangoba is trying so much that he's going to end up not finishing the season. The way they are playing, he's trying to play like he's at Arrows. And he's also, I can understand that Rulani's pressure is too much. He was under a shadow for a long time, but he must also swallow his pride. I heard on the radio during the week that there were some disciplinary issues in the team. I think it was... Zwane was involved. I think also Mokwena was involved, but I think he needs to be the bigger person here and let Zwane play, because without Zwane, there's no Shalulile. No one in this Sundown squad can make those long passes, can make those better runs. My boy is doing nothing because they're choking him there in the mid. But they have him there by the balls. And who's this? Mokwena is just running up and down, but nothing is happening. Ribeiro is going to get tired. That other guy from Supersport on the other side, he's also going to get tired. And then Shalulile will lose motivation. Chigi. Supersport is going to score 1 goal, and then it's going to join us there in the top half of the league. It's lonely at the top.
No, thank you. Agent, my brother, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Hi, man. I'm okay. What's happening here, Agent?
Hate naga e senang khudutlo bolo beto ba iphanaga very listed the reason why there's too many mouses is because there's been no cats.
Yeah.
Now the cats have arrived. I just wanted to say that all the other teams combined have 13 league titles. Sundowns has 12 actually. Sundowns has 14. I mean, you can combine yourself. Even a strong lineup. We have more PSL titles, eh? Even if we include those teams that don't exist, we have 14. So please, the champions are back. I just wanted to say hi. Yeah. But let me start by correcting a few things. Our possession is 73%. Versus 27%. I don't know the concept of Mangwaba ball is coming from. I see the same Sundowns. They're playing a low block, you know. Anyways, Sundowns under Kujulani averaged 512 passes per game. We are on 300 passes at halftime. So it's going to be within our range. So these superficial prophets of doom and sympathizers and occultic followers should just tell us what do they want from Mangwaba, because this is the Sundowns player playing against the low block. Against a very dangerous Orlando Pirates team. Very dangerous, the most dangerous team. They drew 1-1.
Yeah.
And it was against a disorganized Supersport team full of youngsters who just came together.
Yeah.
Right now, given Hunt 1 month with that team, that's why the team is more organized. We struggled against low blocks, even under Coach Rulani, against the deadliest of low blocks, against Younger. Right, we played 517 passes. Today we're on 300. So this is the Sundowns way. You're playing the Sundowns just like you're having a tough time against low block, you know, and a low block will always be difficult to break. But for the tactics, Ribeiro is selling fish. I don't know why. I think sometimes when they tell you that you're a star, you begin to start selling fish. I don't know why, you know. He turns and wants to turn again. Bruh, keep it simple. You're doing too much, you know, and you're questioning the team. Keep it simple, you know. And I think Roberto doing too much. What else? Yeah, I think this is what sometimes I talk about in terms of the trade-off.
Okay.
Right? Maybe I don't know. I should explain what a trade-off means, but I hope people understand what a trade-off means. The more chances we trade, the more chances you're going to concede. The less chances we trade, the less chances we are going to concede. The reason why we keep less possession, we keep more possession, we have controlled the team, we are playing less long balls, but we are creating less chances.
Yeah.
The trade-off is Supersport hasn't created any chance. Which chance did Supersport create? This was the Rulani way. 0 chance against the opposition. How you do that? You control the team and make 0 chances. But you're going to limit own chance creation. That is the trade-off we talk about. You know? So I don't get the superficial pressure that they want to put on Coach Rulani. But it's okay. Thank you.
Let me go to Wahib. Wahib, how should the two teams approach this? I mean, Mamelodi Sundowns, as we're saying, they're facing a block, even though the block is much higher up the pitch than it normally is. How should they go about breaking that block? And then Supersport, can they keep concentrated for another 45 minutes? What should they do in the second half?
Supersport, for me, first, they should stay like they are, trying to be the team that takes the punches and try to hit on the break, because that is the only way that things can work out for them. We saw against Stellenbosch, they did the same. They waited and got the end result. So for Supersport, if they want to change things, they have to add a striker on top and take a right back or the left back off, because they need to take the approach courses. And for Sundowns, Matthews are definitely needed before the 60th minute, because that guy can change the game instantly. And Modiba, the awareness of him in the areas, in different areas of the pitch, are very critical, and Tshwane to link up the play.
Yeah.
But for me, they have to remove Salulil. Definitely they have to take him off. His time has passed, and give Reyners the run up front alone, because Reyners is a very effective striker when he's up on top playing a lone striker. And I can't see Supersport not being proactive in the attack, but I'm also well aware that Sundowns can hurt them when they bring on the right players.
Okay, no. Wahib, what's your score prediction?
I'm going for a 1-0 Supersport.
Why not say, hey? Okay, let me go to Kuma. What should the two teams do in the second half in order to win this game? Should Supersport even be looking for a win? Shouldn't they just go, first game of the season, defending champs? Maybe we can leave with a 0-0 and be happy.
And let this be the last time you have a heap on our Sundowns panel. But anyway,
you guys have beef. Leave me out of your beef, man.
no. Okay. Well, no team wants to, play for a draw. Like whenever you play a superstar team in Sundowns, you always want to go all out and do your best. I mean, like you literally have nothing to lose besides the points because everyone expects you to lose that. So when you get a draw or when you actually win, that's like you've won the lottery and bragging rights. Hence why when Chiefs always won against us, it's like they've won the CAF Champions League. You know how it gets, right? So, my guy, going forward, ne?
Yeah.
I mean, like if we're being fair, ne? I would also like to echo Agent's comments. I mean, like this Sundowns is familiar. This is the Sundowns we wished we had in terms of like attacking and retaining ball positions. Again, our only frailties is going forward. I don't know what's happening with Alulile's confidence or even
Reyners.
nonchalant character of Ribeirez, ne? And the eagerness of Reyners. We need someone who's with composure, who's confident, who's arrogant. And yes, we've always relied on Tshwane for stability, but can we try someone else who's new? Can we go for Mabena? Just to add in that shock factor. That's what I want to see going forward,
Prediction?
because we know he creates and he can. Prediction, hoping for a 2-0.
Sorry, Kuma, man. Nako. Let me go to ASAP Shambe. What do these two teams need to do in the second half in order to win this game? Should Supersport even be looking to win this game?
Yeah, I mean, look, this is not even Supersport's first team. So a draw here for them is mission accomplished. As long as they're not starting the season off with the loss. If I was Coach Mangoba, this would be Shalulile's last game, personally. If I was the coach, it's time for Shalulile to gracefully move on. Gracefully. Like, we've been loyal to him. He's been loyal to the club, but his time is done. And we need someone who's going to help Alende Lapiswe because Agna combination Lapiswe. No, my boy, I'm seeing the game. So maybe it's for players. Because the game's going to be, we're trying to play a fast game. So playing Zwane is counteracts. It's counteracts to what we're trying to do, So maybe sting a player there in the middle to help Alende out there. And then keep Shalulile Fagurenas in the middle, and then it's Fage Matthews on the side again.
Okay. Score prediction?
Someone's going to steal this within the dying minutes. 1-0. So 1-0 Sundowns.
1-0 Sundowns. Hey, Doggies. How should these two teams approach the second half to win it?
If they don't play Tshwane, they're going to, Mr. Agent, you're going to count the number of passes. The only stats that matters is goals, Chief. You're gonna count, even if you have 1 million passes and you don't score and you don't win the game, that's actually nothing. So I think Sundowns will win, but very slight. I think maybe 1-0. But I don't think Shalulile is a problem. Shalulile doesn't get the balls. Shalulile needs to be used. He needs to get the passes. And they're not coming from Mabue, they're not coming from this Alende boy. There needs to be a change. Maybe Tebo Mokwena can do some long passes and also, when you shoot from outside the box, now you force Supersport to come outside of their comfort zone and try to block those long shots. That's when Shalulile gets the space. Then that's when you can use that with Tshwane and put the ball into the tight spaces. I think put in Tshwane, put in Mokwena, you'll see a different Sundowns. You'll see a winning Sundowns. But it's not going to be easy for them. They need to humble themselves.
Score prediction, Doggies?
1-0 Sundowns.
1-0 Sundowns. Well, unfortunately, Hayo Mokwena completely. So someone will have to pick up that slack.
I wanted to ask Dr. Dokotela there, is it Dr. Matthews, is it Dr. Malinga? Because you have seen things, Dokotela, even inside you are running up and down during the game. I'm like, how Dokotela, man,
Hey,
jokes. Jokes,
yeah. The two teams, how should they approach this thing to win?
I think Sundowns need to drop Shalulile. I concur with the guys. And then we need put Renas there or put Tash on the side, and then our double eight is not working, so drop out my boy and then bring Nozwane. I doubt Mkulis will make a difference because him and my boy are the same person. And then Kushman Ngoba, forget the naysayers. Play a quick ball. You lose the ball, yes, but with 3 chances. So this are the same people who are saying that possession doesn't matter, right? We told them that let's create chances. We're creating chances, we're hitting the ball, and then they're like, this is not the Sundowns, and now they have reverted back. You see, so with Sundowns you can't do it. So Kushman Ngoba, go back to what play the ball faster because this is the only way to make the team back. And with light like he coming on, I expect more crosses in. So we have to be careful of that. So I think, bringing, or maybe Losh, I forgot this Losh, or maybe bringing Losh for Oshalulile, and then we should still.
But then very quickly, Supersport. Do they have anything to lose? Should they just sit back and say, this thing has been working so long, why do we need to go out and fetch a goal? Let's take the point home.
Yeah. I think if you can see what the coach is doing now with the substitutions that he has made, he has brought on Olalake and the happy boy and dropped out Upule and Rapo. So it means he wants to play the ball a bit more. So I don't know. I think with you can just hope for a corner and then try to score from there,
Yeah,
but if I was a Supersport, first game of the season, I don't have Machman, I forget the other guy who's absent, a point shouldn't be that bad. So that's why they don't have to be desperate for it. But the downside to it is if Sundowns scores 1, they will score 2 and 3.
Yeah.
With the setup that is happening. Okay. And if Supersport scores, the game is over with the way they've set up. So it becomes a case of who's going to score first. So we'll see.
Score prediction?
I don't know, Shem.
I
don't know. Nah. Okay, my heart says Sundowns winning, but I'm using my heart. But I told you that I don't know. But Sundowns, my team will win.
Okay. No, AJ, thank you so much, guys. We have crossed 20K. I still want 40. Could you please Tata scream, man? Kupali tatting scream, man. Let's try to get to 40,000. Thank you so much to MKMO, Shamase, Mr. XO4 for the gifts on that side. Thank you to everybody that's been commenting up to this point. Now, here's my thing. I think Supersport came into this game to frustrate Sundowns. I think Supersport said, you know what, guys, we've seen that they might be trying to do half of a chameleon. So what we can do is when Williams has the ball, don't press. Just look at them. Just stand there and watch them. And they won't be able to get the ball through the phases. And what that forces Sundowns to do, and I think one of the problems that's happening here, is that Sundowns then sends more players back. Allende goes back. This one goes back. Now they've got 5 guys in the defensive third, right? Then when in the middle, they've got no one. Then they've got the guys in front. So inevitably what happens is, even if they play out of that structure that Supersport has put up, you don't have enough players in the middle to play the ball once it's gone through. You get what I mean? So every time Sundowns has tried to play out at points in this game, Supersport has just stood there and said, okay, we've got 3 guys up front, we've got 2 behind them in the gaps. That means that you have to play the ball long. And when they play the ball long, Supersport has been eating up the ball versus Ribeiro, eating up the ball versus Reyners, right? And even if Reyners wins the ball, there's no support that comes in. Reyners should not be on the left wing. If you're going to play a purely wing game, rather bring in Matthews, who's on the bench. Rather bring in Lodge, who's on the bench and say, you know what, guys, we want you to go wide. The problem is that Reyners is playing as a winger. Reyners, number 9, Stellenbosch FC, is playing on the wing for Mamelodi Sundowns and is ineffective. Even when he does get the ball, he doesn't have the instincts of a winger. You saw him get the ball and shoot, when he could have given or tried to give the ball to Shalulile. Shalulile, like everybody's been saying, I don't think they trust him fully anymore. I don't know what's happening between him and Ribeiro, because Ribeiro can't play the ball. Ribeiro holds onto the ball so much, man. He wants to do so. He wants to step over and step over and step over and do this and do this. Instead of just, sometimes you just need to trap the ball and play a simple pass and you live your life. Trap the ball, play a simple pass, and your team progresses forward. So for Supersport, I'm a little bit worried with the changes that they've made, because it seems like they're going for the win. And I know I always speak about wanting to go for the win, but in this game, I think the win will come from frustration. The moment you start bringing in all these guys and trying to go forward, you break that structure that you began the game with. Another thing about Supersport, that defensive structure is, can you hold it for 90 minutes? Sundowns, for all that we've said, have gotten through 2 or 3 times where maybe decision-making killed them at the end, right? But that 2 or 3 times should be ringing alarm bells for Supersport. And if you do open up the game too much, you stand the risk of conceding, right? Rev. So for me, Sundowns needs to decide. I think the one thing that Sundowns needs to do is decide. Are you playing possession? Are you playing transition? Because you've got one half of the team that's transitioning, you've got another half of the team that's playing possession, and they're not talking to each other. Yeah, look at the gaps. Look at the gaps. Look at the gaps. Look at the gaps. This is what's gonna start happening. Okay, let me bring in some people. Let's have a couple of minutes, guys. We're trying to get to 40,000, but I did make a promise that if we get to 20,000, I'll let people in to give me a minute or two. Oh, look at the gaps. Pitso PK, welcome to the show. How are you, my brother? If you can just enter something other sound, because yeah, they might ban me if they hear background noise from the TV. Pitso PK, we want to my brother. Welcome. You've got 2 minutes. Go ahead. Tell me what you think.
What's ball players the ball players are close to Ronald Williams, and then Rodala side to side arna forward pass, because if we penetrate we're traveling good carry passes, they are far back, you understand? So regards no punya the defense, the stubborn defense is Supersport, because now Riemi Komra, we are going sideways, rotational, going through Ronald Williams. It's like a V facing defense and tshwane Supersport, and it's not gonna benefit us next. Yeah, 1,000 passes, but Nedi had opposition now. So if you're not hitting the opposition, then the records are re past 8,000. It's not gonna win us games. Harry, if Rivaldo wa dropa, or attract maybe 2, and then Alenda abeka mumrawa higher, it ba motor escape ankae. So arna motor escape ankae na Kenya mudiba he ka mumraw. Ahonorne, if we punya the first line of defense ya Supersport, atlohono pass straight. Ribeiro le na tlwelo ba selfish, ahono pass ntwenye Shalulile ka mona. Because what to counter attack, what to counter attack, and then kick 1-0, and then Rofels are ring. Muto pela game plan here today as mangoba mo. How can level la pila mo ke for close? How shall pila game model or lalang? I think it's the game model ene lala ko Amazul when he was ko Amazul. Understand? Mangoba ki MTN 8.
So then ukachincha in mona if Pakaufa team in Abarno, you can make any changes you want. Ukachincha to make this effective.
I think the same way, or one way that changes, didn't change. The same way Rulani was playing. The same way Rulani was playing. Just riskaba le plan A fela. Nka change riskaba le plan A fela. If we were honoring the defense, we can go wide. Ne? And then bring on the crosses because the regular salesman again. Bring on the crosses. And then Reba Paizi say keep the position, then punya wide. And bring on the crosses. Reba Paizi said go direct moha reka style sa Rulani. You understand?
No,
depending on the team we are playing against.
For time's sake, future PK, Ricky Kenya Babang, man. Thank you so much. Let me go to Lebza. Lebza, tell me what you're feeling about this game at this point. Welcome.
I'm fairly happy with the game so far. Sorry for just jumping in. I'm fairly happy. I just wanted to make a comment to the previous speaker. A salesman is not on the squad. It's not on the bench either. So I'd like forget about that part. Rulani also struggled against low block. Let's forget about Rulani football. We've always had a problem with low block. That's why we couldn't win the last games of the season. So let's forget completely about all of those things. Right now, we're focusing on the team. They're creating opportunities. They're penetrating. They're getting in the box. Ribeiro is getting opportunities there. And for some odd reason, we just aren't converting those opportunities. But beyond that, I'm fairly happy with the amount of, with how quickly it takes us to go from our box to their box and penetrate and create scoring opportunities. So I think we are watching different games with some of the speakers here because there isn't a lot to complain about considering our struggles against low block. Look at every team that played low block against Sundowns. We hardly created opportunities. We retained the ball because they allowed us to retain the ball, but they never allowed us to create opportunities that were helpful. Right now, we're creating opportunities but not converting them, which is a nice problem to have.
But I just wanna push back a little bit. Is this a low block? Because I think I haven't seen Sundowns struggle to get out of their own own half. Usually the low block is in the final third of the other team.
Not necessarily a low block. It's not a sitting one. Abana at the back and waiting, or we will just wait for the ball to come. They are trying to start defending just after the middle, and then moving back as a whole to go defend as a team. It's not necessarily a low block per se.
Okay, no, thank you so much. Let me go to
my reference to the low block was the fact that Sundowns always struggles against low blocks. Like I was referencing the previous speaker who spoke about Rulani ball and all of that. Like we hardly created enough opportunities. Even games that we won, if you go back and look, you will see that we weren't even convincing. Sometimes we didn't even deserve to win. We got dubious calls from referees. So we can't now forget about our struggles from last season and make it look like last season we were dominant, whereas we were not scoring as much. So yeah, I'm happy with the opportunities created so far. Hopefully we get 2-0, you know.
There it is. There's the goal. Reyners gets his goal. Leslie, thank you so much. Sinja, I'm going to come to you just now. Guys, Sundowns, 61st minute. Apologies for my timer. It's the 61st minute. Mamelodi Sundowns has scored a goal versus Supersport. And again, I told you guys that the moment that Supersport tried to make this game fun, try to make this game interesting, try to go forward. The moment they did it, look at the spaces that started opening up, but also well done to the movement of Reyners, to Ribeiro finally passing the ball. Is it Ribeiro? Ah, come on. It's Zwane. Passing the ball. Finally, there's a person on the pitch who can pass the ball. Sometimes it's not rocket science, guys. Sometimes it's not rocket science. Anyway, Sinja. Welcome, my brother.
Yeah, hey, can I get the public protector to investigate that defender? Why did he fall? Why is he falling?
Everyone falls, but Gezana fell the other time.
No, Tempazone must tell us good to win like Pakla bench. I fucking underneath the tank. The guy just fell. He just fell. Aye, guys, watch the replay and tell me, why did he fall? What made him to fall? It's like something just pushed him from behind.
They're playing in Pitori, Chief. Whoever's the stronger Pitori is showing here. CJ, I want to ask you now of the game as it is right now. What has changed? Because Sundowns has a lot more space. They're connecting a lot better. Supersport's block is not working.
There's
What's
a
happening?
Ball, but we're going to keep quiet. We are going to keep quiet.
Hi, CJ. What's going on? Tell me what's happening. Oh, Nazo, almost. Tell me what's happening. What's happening here?
I think. Look, I think. I disagreed with that low block issue. There was space behind the 2 6s and the front four. Yeah, and I think Sundowns started exploiting that. There was a bit of a misjudgment.
Nazo, number 2. Nazo. How's the hour again? It's on now. It's on. Kala who said if they score 1, it could be 3. 2-0. Mamelodi Sundowns is now leading. Stitch, I'm going to let you continue just now. 2-0. Mamelodi Sundowns has scored. I believe it's Ribeiro who scored now. Hi, the hour, guys. That was the hour. CJ, please continue, my brother.
No, man, I think there's something about concentration that has lapsed with Supersport. I don't know what they're doing now. They are not. Yeah. Look at that. I think Tempazone, there's something that he ate while he was at the bench. There's something that guy's chewing. No. This can't be. Look at these mistakes. Look at that. Look at what kind of mistakes are these? Guys, they must tell us the truth.
CJ, for time's sake, let me let it. One last thing, yeah.
All right, let me. No, doesn't matter. This is not important to Sundowns. And it's fine. Let's chat some other time.
Okay. Let me go to 2020. The game changed. Welcome. What happened? What's going on here?
Evening, Ochi. Look, I think a lot of people don't understand that Tempazone is the heartbeat of this team. You cannot bench Tempazone for long and expect to win games.
Yeah.
He comes in, the team is totally different. Yes, they were playing not so bad, but with Tempazone coming in with Matthews, you could see the intention was that guys, because in the first half there was a lot of spaces that Sundowns could exploit, but Allende was a bit all over the show. And he was not playing close enough with Mabu and Ribeiro because Ribeiro was always drifting wide. Now they introduced Modiba, so now that would mean that overload on the left side is working.
Yeah.
But for me, I think the difference in this game is Tempazone. Tempazone is one player that you cannot press, you cannot even try to mark for 90 minutes. Because the moment he drifts from central into a wide position, he drifts some of the defenders with him, and the space to exploit. And that's what I'm seeing here. It looks very good for Sundowns. This is the Sundowns I wanted to see, and this is the Sundowns I want to see going forward. You know, this thing, you're going to bench Tembazwane and saying, you want to manage players, this and that. That guy is the heartbeat of this team. Without him, Sundowns Yasokola. And they must admit it that without him, Basokola. They had Lebumabo playing there in the middle of the park. He was literally being swallowed by these young boys by Supersport. You know, and you bring a change. You bring in a player like Mshishi. Mshishi is very experienced. He's played a lot of competitive games. He knows how to win you games. And now he's showing all those people that thought that is old, that he's going to win them games.
Okay. No,
That's
sorry
just how
about
it
that,
goes.
Chen. Hey.
Yeah, and with Tembazwane on the pitch, you can get 4 or 5 goals if you create enough. You know, he's a very creative, he's a mastermind. He's very talented, man. I love Tembazwane. I don't want to lie. And Coach Mangoba must swallow his pride and give this guy his minutes. Simple as that.
And on that point, Chene, before I go to agent, look at where he's playing. That's the interesting part. Tembazwane is playing almost like an 8. He's playing even 6-ish at times there, which is very incredible. You needed a passer. Agent. How much of this is towards Sundowns changes and how much of this is towards Supersports changes?
You know, my first point, the reason I wanted to come on was before the goals. I had written that, it's nice seeing Magnoba making the obvious changes. The changes that I said should happen. Sometimes you don't have to overcomplicate these things. Make the obvious changes, and he made them. And the Zwane question is very interesting, to be fair, and very complex, right? And sometimes people should maybe think a bit about what is happening, right? I don't think Zwane is among people who are rebelling, if there's such people. Otherwise, he wouldn't have played as many times as he is, right? I think this is purely tactical, right? Now, under Coach Rulani, he played 60 minutes, got out. We knew that substitution. Get in, 60 minutes, get out. Now, what that does is we are starting at a high tempo. The team is still fresh and everything. And you know that Zwane has to come in. So you're thinking that, let's get this goal. Let's get this goal. If it doesn't come, we know Sundowns has drawn. By 60 minutes, Zwane comes out, we have drawn. We know that, right? Now, what if, because we know, guys, what's happening? You see, this is the kind of this two things now that I've missed, and people say man, could have been 4-0 now. But anyways, what if the logic? I'm not saying this opinion, but what if the logic is because he can give us 60, because he has always been coming in the 60th minute, all the games. What if he does come in at the 60th minute? The players are tired mentally, and physically, and it can be that impact situation where he's gonna pick up passes where the concentration is low, as you can have seen, right? So what if it's that strategy, and we saw Zwane starting a game against Stellis. He was anonymous the entire game until he was substituted. Because when the team presses us high, we're in trouble because Zwane is gonna struggle. But the team can press for 90 minutes. Or can be concentrated for 90 minutes. So when you're bringing such kind of intelligent player on 60th minute, you're giving yourself an advantage, So I think just that might be that, but this is what I said, that it goes where we score 1 goal, 2-3 come, because this was Supersport setup, and you said something very interesting that. And I think I always say this, that there's a very thin line between bravery and foolishness. And you called it that Supersport is doing foolishness now, And it was surprising because I did comment on it. I was like, but OT, you always say that people should attack, not sit back. I'm like, why the sudden change of tone? So I was puzzled by it. But now I see it like, actually, he was right. But don't be selfish. You need a point, get the point, go, And maybe this is where Sundowns is going to be dangerous because teams are going to say, this team's no longer the same. And they become a bit braver. And that's where you concede. So I don't know. Cheers, man.
Thank you, agent. Guys, if I could just jump in before letting ASAP Chamber in. I want to hold on that point of, I think Supersport also let this game go. And if you could see from the beginning, they did a thing where they had 3 and 2. And the 3 and 2 was very high. Now, it was risky because there was a space in the middle, right? There was a space in the middle where there was essentially one man was Supersport. And Sundowns got through 2 or 3 times, but for the most part, they had to play balls long. Now, what happened when they made those changes was that they went from a 3-2 and this 2 started getting deeper and they started doing this and becoming a 1, which means that those guys in the middle got spaces. The reason why Sundowns is playing so well now is that now they can exploit those spaces and have Themba Zwane playing in almost a 6, right? So I do think as much as Mamelodi Sundowns made changes that changed the game, I also feel as though Supersport lost the game a little bit by trying to go win this game through being a little bit too much. Man, they wanted it too much. They made too many changes. But anyway, Caf Champions 2-0, completely different game. Back and forth, suits Sundowns more than it does Supersport. What do you think happened? How do you see it ending?
Yeah, now completely different team. I'm sure inhliziyo Fleming Beg la khona ibuhlungu. I'm sure la khona nje he hates the fact that Zwane came on and the team completely switched. Because we already know the narrative. Like Fleming wants to phrase out Zwane, but yeah, bo la khona manje. I'm shy amapeni. Fanele kuphume imayo nezi kula maphozu wakhe. I'm going to give Mangoba grace, and I think he's trying to do different things, trying to find a different team. And never want to see the front three ever again.
ASAP, I don't know if it's you or me, but your network
in my life.
Your network is killing right now.
No. Charlie, no. May that may today be the time that.
Oh, ASAP, I'm gonna take you off. Unfortunately, current network is doing something. Try come back on and let's have the conversation. Kumo, but the Melody TV man, Rabatao Sheba, Reshebile Kare. But anyway, Kumo, 2-0. How do you see this game?
First of all, I would like to thank Kaizer Chiefs for holding our place at the top. Okay, now that is done. Mara OT.
Yeah.
Proper go na lenzi serious mo hona ka mo groupung. Supersport won't be able to maintain this speed, this pressing, this low block. How can the people for it, you know? Sometimes so there's a reason why we play so many passes, because it's difficult when you have to chase shadows all the time. Where one I don't know what the best attack.
The best form of defense is attack.
One talo I get happiness. So Carlos Coas Lord. But no, guys, we love Themba Zwane, right? We love Themba Zwane, but the problem now, we have to be realistic.
Yeah.
He's a generational talent, yes, but he's old. He's old, and we have to stop being reliant on one player. That is not Sundowns custom. I mean, like, Nahana, we acting like, no, if we can't win. If we don't have Mang, we can't win. No, we've got the staff. We've got people. We've got superstars. Yes, I love the guy. But on the other hand, the young guns coming through. Like it's yours. Yeah. So the game we won 2-0 as we're heading. I'm hoping for a clean sheet, then, because the last thing I want, I don't want to get is that we have to share one label some other teams. So I can hang. But yeah, man, so far I'm happy. And as one we don't have to. But guys, let's be honest, doesn't this remind you of the old Sundowns? Despite the Ribero's antics, and missing those chances, but this Sundowns, reminds me of Bo Cocomelone. I don't even know giving helicopter, but this Sundowns looks menacing. Ne? It looks menacing. It looks like classic Sundowns. So, and I'm happy whatever Mokwena is doing, you prove how he learns from mistakes and why implement. So, empower confidence going. Empower confidence going forward. Hey, bro, I was coding 2 minds there. Sharp.
Well, guys, for everything we've said about Thembazwane, guys, Thembazwane is making tackles on the line. Hey, Thembazwane, guys, I don't know. Maybe you guys want to play him for 60 minutes. But in the last 30 minutes or however long he's been on, he has been playing tough at the back. Let me go to Java Lava. Java, welcome to the show. How are you?
Sure, unjani bra?
Hayi man, mina ngimnandi man. Yavuka Sundowns. 2-0. Uyibona njani game? Uyibona njani?
Sidli joy. As Papi, sisha one game at a time. Maskatati league. Mara yethu. Bezusisa. Yeah.
Manje ngitshele kenzakaleni ukuthi kuchintshe ngoba hey first half bekunzima man.
Yazi uNkulunkulu webhola madoda umshishi Chikabala. Awuthe ungena izinto zavuleka. Enhle gate izevi number 10 ufuna le number 10 le yaka Costa lebamnikile uCosta ayeka idizefi lento le umesi into eziningi. Chikabala wazi ibhola bona. The number 1 goalkeeper in Africa. Akunanto ingenayo. Ayekho semva kwakhe. Bamnominatile Kumbul bamnominatile le ndoda le madoda.
Yeah.
Bona, sidli joy. Yeah.
Manje ngitshele Java. Niyamthemba uManqoba manje. Seniyamthemba or nisazomquestion.
Manqoba mina ngiyamthemba yabona. It's just ukuthi maybe ikandal nathi lezi singazazi uyasibona. But ukumthemba uManqoba ngiyamthemba yena ufuna inhlonipho ufuna respect akufuna ukuthi umkhulu ukudlula team kose bamrespect into zabo zikwazi ukuba kahle sibe nale Sundowns siyaziyo vele yabo. Hayi abangahlangana nabafana hayi bona kuna team engazivimba
Okay no.
Ayikho engazivimba team.
No man, ngibongile Java. Mara Java. Ithi ukubuze. Sibonile first half Sundowns, nice second half Sundowns. Maybe le team ye second half akusiyo ekumele icala ama-game.
Second half yiyo sibali. But second half bheka sikakadlali within 10 minutes. Goal seyingenile. I think second half baqala ukusubstitute. Bathe baqeda ukufaka bozwane lapha akadluli ne10 minutes. Khomba ukuthi bekashota vele egamini uyashota ukuthi akwazi ukuhlanganisa labafana yabo. uRibeiro manayi man usafunda mara maybe one day maybe uzafika lapho yabo. Yena usafika but unobuselfishingana man akayekelele ubuselfish aphasa ushasha naye akwazi ukuvuka yabo. Awushasha ngavuka anyazi dayibona. Africa my spamsa se Africa lesa. Spamsa se Africa.
I know Java Bogile, but Java Tinge Tumi. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. Oti, how's it?
Hi man, and now I'm always good. Tell me, what are you seeing from this game? I'm always good, man. Even better these days.
Ndoda, I almost panic nge-first half ndoda ngasho la ngathi akwambanga kahle la ngathi akwambanga kahle la hayi kana ucoach wethu une plan yabona ngithi plan ufuna njalo na uthi akufunakala always udepend ekutheni hayi ngicala ngathi the best vele ngiyabulala you must surprise us yabona ushaya surprise coach sisi labafana abashaye 4 goals last weekend hayi lento yamagoli ngathi seyabangena. So another thing yazivuke ngayo another thing ngelanjani ngomshishi it's difficult man ungaqali ngomshishi and lama players sogola phakathi.
Yeah.
Basogola. If you can check even naku squad umshishi makaqala igame. Phakathi konke kuhamba kahle. Uyabona if mawunomuntu ozokudlalisa free, okudlalise nje ibhola kahle umshishi. Uyabona? Yeah, manje baphi bomabhena ndoda basukile ku number 1 phela bomabhena. Number 1 akasiwa Tom and Jerry, mabhena baphumile la.
Ufuna bona.
bomabhena kuthi namanje bagcwele lapha eLoftus lapha babhizi baminyela abantu abarong bomabhena laba. Hayi mara siyobabona.
No, thank you, dude. Let me go to Edgar. Edgar, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, my brother?
Man, I'm okay. Edgar, what's going on here?
Look, I was just sitting here listening to people watching, and I think people just went ahead of themselves a little bit. I'm a Sundowns fan, and what I'm going to say is not because I'm a Sundowns fan. I'm just going to say it
You see when you start with
from a place of a
disclaimers.
football fan.
When you start with disclaimers,
No, my brother. Yazi, Sundowns Sundowns is like one of those companies that has been built up to even to JSE level, man. Jabon. It's no longer operating low level. Whoever owns it now, if he leaves it, he leaves a well-oiled machine running. It's got well-trained staff to run it. So Mangoba, it was just a matter of time before he just finds trust in the boys, which is what I just feel like had to happen. And I think he proved his worth to the boys, and he proved Uti his decisions could be trusted. With that Mbabane Swallows 4-0 win. However, Gule match specifically, what I noticed is that Sundowns team maybe might suffer going further with playing players that other veterans in the team, if I may call them so, don't have confidence in. For example, Umshishi put aside his level of skill. He just inspires the confidence in people. Umuntu ofuna ukudlala nomshishi naye uyakhuthazeka. Then they bring their best game to the table, So it's not just about his level of skill, but the leadership qualities he holds and he brings to the table. Hence, his presence alone was able to change the whole atmosphere of the game. Bafana now really look like they want to be in the game. Even our shape looks well structured, It's like Uba Buhambe Wayolanda, the older brother, to say, I've been trying to talk to your brothers, now sort this out. So, because he's really come in and changed just the shape, the way the boys play. And the one fact that now everyone is looking at Umshish and is trying to close down Umshish and forgetting about Aubrey. And for this game, we can say Umshishi handed the baton beautifully to Aubrey to provide us with those killer touches we know.
Yeah.
And I think Ning excess accent down. People must just relax. Chiefs still got a long way.
Leave us alone, guys. But you know what? What's happening in our corner? Leave us alone. Why are you guys bringing us in? Edgar, thank you so much. Before I let in Jackson's Vintage, okay. So what I wanted to say was, firstly, Lomchi to 3 ungenile man. Lomchi to 3 is on the pitch. And where's the thing?
That's the nyoso I know. I don't want another nyoso. I didn't bring the other nyoso. I brought the nyoso that I know. Because that's not the nyoso that I want. The nyoso I want is got pressure, stress, he's dodging, he's dribbling, he's shooting, he's assisting, he's breaking the line. This is the nyoso I know. Now when I don't get that nyoso, then one Salkhayo will get choked.
Coach now. Loch has made it onto the pitch. Umchita Utri, he's on the pitch. And then the second thing I wanted you guys to notice, tactically, one of the things that has changed right now, look at how Supersport is pressing the ball. And once you press the ball, you allow Sundowns to play out. So you see the configuration now, or how they look now. It's 1-4. It was 3-2. Now it's 1-4, and they're opening up the little gaps. Watch. Press Ronwin. He plays it out. Plays it to the next player who's open. Done. Press over. Press over. What did I say, Guti? Should these guys carry on pressing like the way that they're doing? What should they do? These things, man, it's not rocket science, man. Jackson's Vintage, welcome to the show. How are you?
Yes, very yourself, man.
No, I'm okay. And Tuni, how do you feel?
I'm happy. I'm over the moon. The boys, you know, for the past few games, we've been unhappy as a team, eh?
Yeah.
More especially with the top 8. Yeah, that one. But if you look at this game, I think firstly, khoza Reyners was a good signing. Reyners was a good signing, and also what this guy was saying about Umshish. I think looking at Umshish has still got some time in his legs. We can't say yes, is more of like a legend to the team right now, but I feel like he's still got time in his legs. Because one of the ways he changed the game immediately when he got in, he changed the game and he's pushing behind the strikers.
Yeah.
So and also I'm happy with the fact that now they have a way of trying to open the low block. You understand? And they're pressing, which is a good thing. And if you look at this game, this is a different Sundowns from the one that was playing the top 8. This Sundowns that is playing now is stronger than the one that was playing then. You understand? And I feel like really, I think they had a sit down with the players and like, guys, this is what we want to do. This is the plan. Let's put our differences aside. Whatever that happened. Let's focus on the game. Because if you look now, yes, maybe we don't know what's happening behind closed doors. But if you look at now, at least now they're communicating. There's something that is happening there.
Yeah.
So I'm impressed with what I'm seeing right now.
So should the team start like this? And do you think that maybe there's a little bit of ego that stopped them from, playing these players right now from Mangoba's part? Because
yes,
you guys la first half.
Yes. Aye. First half, no. And also, Mangoba needs to also put his pride aside and focus on what is good for the team. We understand that because now, more than anything, we are preparing for the Club World Cup. You see, so preparing for the Club World Cup, you need the best team and you need happy players. You understand? You can't compete there with players that are unhappy. You're not going to make it.
Williams.
This is what we've missed. William was not there. Guys, I so wish we were only playing the top 8 now. Justice.
Williams just gave himself a highlight that they're going to play there at the Palonto when they play his montage. Jackson Vincent, thank you so much.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Jets. Sure.
Let me bring it in Tuli. No, Williams, man. How do you feel about the game, Tuli Kid? Welcome.
Hey, you know, like Sundowns make sure to Williams, eh? Because I whenever since he came back, they're playing. No, man, I was watching. Okay, now maybe I will look at it from the Supersport side,
Yeah.
Because I was watching a first half when Mr. OT. So in the first half, I was asking myself for how long, because I saw I won't say Supersport were doing a low block per se, but maybe they were well structured spaces. If you can check the numbers of intercept they had, especially in the middle of the park, they were so well structured. But that kind of approach, it needs you to be focused 100%. And when you're chasing the ball, you'll tend to lose the concentration, and then lose the shape. So I think when Sundowns is scored, it was it was due time. Now they have to score because they started losing the shape. Yeah. And then you ask yourself, man, you see, really Sundowns, what's next for Supersport?
Yeah.
Because, so they played well if they were able to hold that structure and throughout the game, but it's very difficult to approach a game like that if you are not used to approaching a game that way, because it seems like now they are diverting to a different tactic whereby but structured, because the way they were pressing, they communicate, it's okay, was when valala, but it was due time, because now in sometimes look at patient, and they're chasing a ball. Once you tire, that's when you start losing in shape. So now when they scored, I was like, what next for Supersport? Now I say Supersport now, pelile manch. And then phinde ngibongele lo coach la, because I'm a substitute. It seems like you wanna alethe ushintsho la gaming. Abomshishi thema bengena umshishi kwangena igol same time.
Mara nimnikeza icredit ngento ngabaqale ngayo, but it's okay man.
No, but I think I feel maybe akuthi vele angiwazi nama politics. I'm just hoping ukuthi maybe the way abaqala ngakho, because if you check those guys abozwane abomkwenya, those guys bagijime kakhulu last season. I just hope mhlambe it's sort of resting them to ensure ukuthi they have ilokunyani squad depth to participate kulama competition abadlali, because they have to participate in a lot of competitions this season. At least if they can have ilokunyani ama squad ahlukahlukene which they can trust, at least bazokhona ukusurvive season given ama competition abonela participate kuwo. Hopeful, I'm just being optimistic.
Mina all I'll say is that participate nidliwa intro faka labantu man. Now let me go to let me bring it to Tshwane. Take it Tshwane, a completely different second half.
I'm not going to be long, but I just want to highlight something I've said in the previous lives. Especially after or before the Mbambani Swallows game. I said once Sundowns starts finding the back of the net, they're going to score. They needed that game to actually revive their confidence, to get them believing in themselves again. During the MTN 8, their confidence was low. So, I think that was one of the problems that they were facing. It was just a confidence thing, My second point is that you can never press Sundowns, especially in their third half. And Supersport wanted to press them. And that's where they lost the game. You don't press Sundowns. Even that highlight that you saw, Ronwen, why do you want to press Sundowns, especially that deep? The moment you press them, they play a ball. Just one pass, they eliminate 3 players. With the second pass already, they're in your half. You have about 5 players still in Sundowns' half, and they have about 6-7 players in your half. You cannot press Sundowns. They have very quick players, And my last point would be on Matthews also. I've been telling Agent, your coach needs to play Matthews. Matthews has an impact that people don't even see or recognize in the game. That boy is a silent killer. He's very underrated, but he's a silent killer. And when you overload that side, having Matthews, Lodge, and Mudiba on the same side, they become unstoppable. I don't want to lie. Shikabala. You know what? I think people just don't want to accept that he's the heartbeat of this team. They're saying, he's old. Age is nothing but a number when it comes to football. This guy still has 2 good seasons left in him. Regardless of the fact that they gave him a 1-year extension, I think right now his body is at its strongest. Yes, they can manage him, but that guy is a star. You cannot want to win games and exclude him from the team. That's all I will say. And congratulations to Mamelodi Sundowns.
Yeah.
I think they played a very good second half. They won the second half. First half, yes, they played in patches. But once they found their rhythm, they became unstoppable. And this is the Sundowns I'd like to see moving forward. You know, what a beautiful game, man. Thank you, my brother, also for a good show.
Thank you so much, Tshwane. Agent, I'm gonna let you get to your point, but I want you to touch on something first.
Yeah.
How important is concentration, and how much is it lacking in South African football? Because one, fine, Supersport had a structure, they found their way, they were doing all that stuff, it looked good first half. Second half, I'm watching people running at Williams, and I'm like, Marakai, don't you guys study, or you did well first half, but anyway, how important is that aspect to the game?
I think people don't understand how draining football is. You know, physically you get tired. I get that, but that's nothing compared to how mentally drained you become. You know, hence we have what you call the critical phases. You know, and I would like to one day research or have the number of goals that get conceded in the critical phase, because like you're saying, we suffer from concentration spells, you know, or concentration span, you know, if I can put it that way. You know, so yeah, I think sometimes, like I said, it's naivety, you know, it's being naive, that you think, this team is dead, and then you make changes, you know. And to link the point is, can I ask maybe a question before I go to my next point? What's an analyst?
Yeah. What do they do all day? See, what's an analyst?
Like, you know, like, what do they do all day? You know, like, you know, and okay, let me get off football, like football club analyst. What's a what do you call it? Those guys that sit in studios or people you listen to. Why do you call them analysts compared to us regular folks? You know, because as an analyst, you must be able to see things that other people ordinarily won't see, right? And I can assure you, from now, you're going to see the narrative that Bagel under pressure, you know, you should have brought in Zwane earlier, And I'm asking, as an analyst, do you ever consider, say, but there is two things that happen at the same time that led to this result. First, you're bringing in a fresh Zwane, and you can see 30 minutes Zwane, what can offer you? It's like a younger Zwane. He tracks back, he makes cycles, he places 6, he places 8, he places 10. You know, he plays all those positions, you know, and the same thing, Supersport changed. You know, ask yourself, if Zwane started and Supersport was like that, was he going to be this impactful with the way Supersport was sitting up? You know, so that's why sometimes we listen to these people, man, they have more followers than us, you know, they own channels, you know, but no, man. And some we watch them on TV, they have makeup and everything, but yeah. But anyways, I just wanted to say, Mangoba ball, Ulane ball, Sundowns ball, this is Sundowns football. Ball possession, 72%, Supersport 28%. Remember, I told you, Sundowns average is 512 balls per game. Today, we reached 608 passes. The number of passes we had more was against La Paz, where we had 617. And we won 15-1, and passes Abutukuza, that's like us calling them fishermen, but yeah, you know. So this just goes to show you that nothing has changed. We still play the number of football we play, you know. And again, the last point I want to make of is the trade-off. Supersport, we are more exposed at the back. Supersport was able to penetrate us more, but we were able to take more chances. You know, there's always going to be that trade-off. You can't have the cake and eat it, as Abutukuzo would say. You know, so what I'm just saying is I'm happy that Sundowns won, but for once I'm not happy that Sundowns won. Actually, I'm happy Mangoba won. Like, I'm happy the guy needed a win, you know, and I know others are feeling pain. I know others are feeling pain, and I know not only Chiefs fans, but Sundowns fans also, and I know the main culprits. One day I'll name them out. But that's my last point. PSL title hopes for Chiefs. Sunrise, 14 September 2024. Sunset, 17 September 2024. I hope Pirates can win 2-0 or 3-0 tomorrow, so that people can return to their rightful places. Thank you.
Tamaya. Malume Kutso, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hi, Mnandi Kunjani, Mr. OT.
But Kimnati, Malume Kutso. No, I want to ask you the same question. Concentration. Sundowns, Ijabatuka concentration most of the time. Or you can stick to it for 60 minutes, but can you stick to it sometimes until 89th minute?
Snipe is concentration, but it's a lot more than that, Mr. OT. It also has to do with endurance, skill set. All of those, Mr. OT, ultimately do affect your concentration, Mr. OT. So, yes, concentration is part of it, but it's the nub of it. There's more to it, Mr. OT. Even the tactical awareness and technical awareness does come into play, Mr. OT. From a technical team, they know they should know which ex-player can only go for so long, just like how Sundowns was able to say Themba Zwane will be effective at this point, you understand? So at some point as a coach, you should know which, I should introduce either someone who's going to make things happen or a catalyst. Even though he might not make things happen, he'll influence people. He'll put a spring in people's step, you understand? So it's not only down to your concentration. And for me, Mr. OT, man, you know Jose Mourinho? Jose Mourinho was a great coach. He's still coaching, but I can safely say Jose Mourinho was a great coach. Themba sana tracksuit coach asana my idea, Mr. Uti. So it's time to retire, man. Agent, it was painful watching Muhammad Ali box past his prime. I think there's another Muhammad Ali that we are watching. Let's have a into him, Mr. Uti. And so Balshanga Saliko, but the tribune striker sake, something is kindy. Gavin had Mr. Uti, say one nail, man, Mr. Uti. But you know, football, like I always say, Uti, it encapsulates life, Mr. Uti.
Yeah.
Always remain humble. And this has nothing to do with Kevin Hunt now. Always remain humble. Because at the snap of the finger, you will be replaced. Thank you, Mr. Uti.
Thank you very much. Okay, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up, guys. The show is normally on Monday to Thursday at 7 p.m. We're probably gonna speak about this game and tomorrow's game of Pirates on Thursday. So I just want to let you know, if you have not followed, please follow. This is my reading of the game. I think Supersport came with a plan, and I think their plan was successful for a while. So they came in and they said, you know what, guys, Mamelodi Sundowns likes to have the ball, but they want you to come to them. So the moment you initiate a press on Ronwen Williams, everything starts falling apart because other people have to come and support. So if my striker goes, there's a pass open here. That means one of my midfielders needs to go. All of a sudden, 1, 2, 3, 4, Mamelodi Sundowns is in front. So what they did at the beginning of the game, where they just looked at them, they watched them. Ronwen had the ball for many times, not knowing where to go. It forced them to go long. They were winning that first ball. They were winning the duels, and it created a space. So there was a space between the attack and defense. Sundowns defense had 5 players because Islander was coming back, and then there was a gap in the middle, then the front guys, which meant that when they needed to play out, they had to play long, right? And when they play long, again, up front is 3 versus 5, Nangali. So now they're winning those balls back, nullified Sundowns for the first half. Second half, I don't know what informed this, but Supersport decided to try and make the game more exciting, bringing in Lakay, taking out some of the guys, changing how they press. And I believe that opened spaces. But the key to this game was Themba Zwane coming in and saying, oh, Sendvulile, it's fine, I'm here. And if you watch what Themba Zwane was doing, he was playing 6 and 8. He was dropping all the way back. The other great part about it was Mamelodi Sundowns lacked someone up front who could just feed the guys the ball. Trepa Polo or Femoto. Ifamoto Polo. Right? They didn't have that. Now, so then what tended to happen then in that case was you have Reyners, you have Ribeiro, you have Shalulile. Mabua is not giving them the ball. Allende is too far back to give the ball. So when Mshishi came in, he was like, hi man, the space man in the middle. Came in and he started connecting with Umudiba. Started connecting. So now you start to see Sundowns ticking. And when Sundowns ticks like that, because they've got a link between the defense and the midfield, it becomes hard for Supersport because now you can't be static. You have to start moving around. Not to mention the fact that Sundowns has now scored. You guys might need to go get something out of this game. And you open even more holes for Sundowns to take advantage of. And this is where my conversation about concentration comes in. You need to be switched on for 90 minutes. Sundowns, even last season, the chameleon wasn't a scoring tactic. It wasn't a tactic that was going to give you 5-0 every day. What they did was, they just I said this how many times last season, that Sundowns' biggest strength is that they are able to do this for 90 minutes. They don't get too excited. They don't get too down for themselves. They wait for you to make the mistake. Then in the last 10 minutes, they ramp it up. And all of that running and pressure and all of that catches you out at the end. You get me? That's what the chameleon used to do. A lot of the games, especially towards the end of the season, were won because they stayed here. The moment you start acting up as the other team, or you want to start attacking them, or you want to start doing funny things, they hit you. Look at what they were doing there. Supersport finished this game pressing Ronwen Williams. Ronwen Williams is nominated for a Palonto. We all here know what Ronwen Williams does. Gets the ball, he waits for the striker to come running at him, he plays it out, press is done because everybody needs to come and help. So this is why I'm saying, and the question that I asked the guys that were just on, guys, what is your concentration like? What is your endurance like? What is the game plan saying? I said at halftime for me, honestly speaking, I said at halftime for me was, guys, it's okay to leave with a point here. It's okay. It's okay for you to frustrate them and say, you know what, guys, namhlanje, we're leaving with a 1-0, or we're going to score a lucky goal and win, but we're not going to allow them to play. The moment you allow Mamelodi Sundowns to play, the moment you allow Mamelodi Sundowns to get on the ball, what was great about the first half was that even though Mamelodi Sundowns had the ball, only 3 or 4 players were playing with the ball, and Williams was one of them because they couldn't get far into the pitch. But now in the second half, when you allow these guys to touch the ball, they will hurt you. They will hurt you. The reason why I spoke about that low block, I said it to nah, that low block thing, this wasn't a low block. It was a very high structure so that you keep those guys off of the ball. Bo Ribeiro, Bo Allende, all of those, you keep them off of the ball. Bo Mabue, keep them up there, keep them busy in their own half. Mamelodi Sundowns, for all of their passes, couldn't get out of their half well, but they let them go. And if you let them go, you get punished. So I'm going to say well done to Mamelodi Sundowns. Well done to Coach Mangoba for making the changes that needed to be made. I think there might be questions that you ask of Coach Mangoba to say, you might be realizing that every time you make certain changes, the game goes a certain way. So maybe, just maybe, you have to look at your game tactics and your models and all of that stuff and adapt it to that. I don't think Mamelodi Sundowns can survive a lot of what they did in the first half like that. Right? And I don't know if Abu Mshishi will be able to save them every single time. Maybe Coach Mangoba must go, you know what? It's not working. Or there's certain things that are not working. Let me bring in some of these guys and fit them in properly. And it might not just be Tembazwane, it's also your Mudibas. And maybe you start to see how important mokwena are, and you start to see how important Bo Mudau are as well in these teams. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me. Agent, it's I'm not just talking about Umshishi. I think that's the point I'm making is, Umshishi, it might be great to bring him on as a second half type thing, but maybe Mudiba, having Abu Mudiba on can give you a better hold on the game when you don't have him on the pitch, if that makes sense. So we watched a very boring first half that wasn't doing much. We've seen Stellies beat you guys twice. We've seen those type of things. Maybe you have to bring in some people. Hey, Mudiba, come back, my guy. Sorry, come back. You see Kekana making it back into the team. We see all of those guys making it back into the team. That's why I'm saying going forward, maybe those are some of the changes, not necessarily Umshishi, some of the changes that you keep for the next game. Anyway, guys, it was amazing. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you to Fandenom, Semi Mabua, MK, Lebu, MKMO, Shamase, Mr. XO4 for the gifts. Thank you for the people that watched. Thank you to those that jumped into the panel. Thank you to those who are watching on YouTube, guys. The normal show, Monday to Thursday, 7 p.m. I also drop content almost every day, or I try to drop every day. So please support us, content creators that are doing these type of things. Like Agent said, we're tired of listening to what Thomas, man. We're tired of listening to those people. We can also watch games and analyze. And this is one of the platforms where you can do it. So please support us, and we're going to try to grow as much as possible. Guys, it's been amazing. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing the match. Orlando Pirates. Orlando Pirates is playing tomorrow. We're going to be covering that match. So please join me at 7:30 and go watch some of the other episodes. It's not just watch-alongs and match reviews. We also have deep conversations that we've had about a lot of things that have to do with our local game, the African game, and also what happens in Europe. You know, we've spoken about scouting, development. We've spoken about a lot of really pertinent conversations that we've had. So if you do want to watch them, go onto the YouTube channel, Overthinking Football Show, and you can watch it that side. If you want to join the WhatsApp group where you can hear about Malume Kutsobo agently, you can hear a lot of people that have jumped in. We have a vibrant group where we speak every single day about football over and over again. 24 hours is not as restricted as here. You can send voice notes, videos, all of that stuff. Go on over to my YouTube channel, click on join. So there's subscribe and click on join, and you'll gain access to the WhatsApp group where you can have access to me and a whole bunch of other really incredible football lovers. And we can speak about everything that's happening in the game that we love. Guys, it's been amazing. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 7:30. Bye, everyone.